What would I tell myself if I were to go back and run into my 20-year-old self? This would be my financial advice for my 20-year-old self. If I went back, if I could get myself to believe me and buy into what I had to say, the first thing I would tell myself is to quit drinking, quit smoking, quit partying. It's interesting in your youth how you feel you are invisible. It's interesting how in your youth you feel like you're invisible, that you have your whole life ahead of you. Well, I promise you, when you're 20, you're going to blink tomorrow, you'll be 30. And then before you know it, you'll be 43. Drinking was fun socially. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Smoking, I enjoyed, it was a social deal for me. Um, if I could talk myself into not doing those things, I would not. I spent a lot of money on drinking. I spent a lot of money on smoking. I could have saved that money. I could have invested that money. Not only that, but the repercussions that it has on your health. And it just, you waste so much time. You don't realize until you get older how valuable time is. I look forward to being financially wealthy. I look forward to having $4 million in cash paying assets. But what I look forward to even more is having a wealth of time, because time is irreplaceable. And I wasted so much time just recovering from partying with my friends and hanging out with my friends. Just the hangover. And if you can, try to drink less, try to smoke less. I promise you, it will pay in folds. Being physically active every day. A little bit easier to do when you're younger. You're playing basketball, soccer, doing activities outdoor with your friends. Don't ever stop that. Always stay active. Even if it's just going out for a walk with the dog, or a walk with your girlfriend, or your new spouse, or whatnot. Just always stay active. Don't get home from work and just sit on the couch. Don't just get up in the morning and head to do your day and not, go to the gym or get some kind of cardio in your day. A body in motion stays in motion. Now, if I worked a W-2, which I did, I wasn't entrepreneur. I had an entrepreneurial spirit, always have, but I wasn't doing solely my own thing. If I were to be doing a W-2, I would be investing up to the 401k match. I don't know if I would do more. It's going to be 25 years before I can give you the results on what I feel on a 401k or a Roth 401k. That's a two-sided coin, as with everything in life. But if you're putting in at least up to the match, you're cashing in on that free money. I would read as much as I possibly could. Today we have ebooks. Today we have Kindles. I love reading a paper book. There's something about the feel of a paperback book. I do enjoy some hardbacks too, but paperbacks are just super easy to read. I don't like reading things on my phone. Maybe it's because I don't set it on Do Not Disturb. I've been trying to be better about setting my phone on Do Not Disturb, because you're reading your Kindle and a funny Instagram pops up from a friend or family member, and then all of a sudden you're 2.5 hours later down this endless rabbit hole of Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, and you've completely wasted your time. I mean, yeah, you do get a dopamine fix from it, but do you get any value from it like you do a book? No, I don't think so. I would make a goal if I was in my early 20s to read a book a month. I'm trying to do that now, in my early 40s. But it's just an upgrade. It's just a software update. Every time you read a book on self-help, financial help, relationship help, even if it's not a self-help book, even if it's just Harry Potter, it's meditation. I would read more if I was in my early 20s. I would attend at least one seminar per year in my field of topics. If you're in real estate, follow a real estate seminar. If you're into digital commerce, attend a digital commerce. If you're into relationship counseling, take something in relationships. If you're in the medical field, take a seminar in the medical field. That is a high concentration of your kind of people at those seminars. There is so much value to those seminars. Even if you pay to attend those seminars, if you pay $500 or what have you, if you pay to go to these seminars, I promise you, you're going to pay more attention. So I would go to at least one seminar a year, preferably two. I'm trying to do 2 seminars a year right now. If I ran into my 20-year-old self, I would tell myself to get rid of that car payment. Most people in their 20s don't have a lot of assets. A car, I promise you, is not an asset. A car is a tool. A car is to get you from point A to point B. And that's it. I still to this day don't have a super nice car. I have literally a 2000 model pickup truck. Runs great, no payments, gets me from point A to point B. I can go to the local hardware store, get lumber, paint, whatever I need. It does the job. People only care about the car you drive for a small amount of time, maybe a Friday night, and that's it. They don't care about it the rest of the week. I could spend a whole episode just talking about the lunacy that I feel behind car payments. I don't know if I would rent a home or own a home. I currently own. I've owned for 12 years now. 12 years now. Home ownership has its pros. It has its cons. I think my wife, if she could have it her way, I think she would probably rent. I don't know if she would own again. And she has she touches base on this in a couple of spots of renting versus owning a home. Owning a home to some is an asset, to others it's not. This gentleman here, if you've ever heard of this guy, he doesn't believe owning your own home is technically an asset. I like owning, but it has its responsibilities. I have to take care of the lawn, the water heater, the roof, the maintenance, everything. When you rent from someone, if you have a decent landlord, they take care of all those things. You just pay the rent and you're done. If you decide you want to pick up and move across town, move across the state, move across the country, as long as your lease is coming to expire, or if you're willing to pay that lease break agreement, you can do that and just move and pick up and rent somewhere else. Owning a home gets a little tricky a little bit. You got to sell it. You got to find a new place to live. There's, X amount of days till closing and yada yada. It's a little bit more complicated. Yes, I will walk away with money in my pocket, whereas in a rental, you don't walk away with money in your pocket. You know, I'm kind of interested to hear your thoughts on that below. You know, do you own? Do you rent? What's your situation? Comment below. But again, renting or owning a home is a topic that I could go into definitely, and maybe I will touch base on another episode. So if you are listening to this and you are in you're not in your 20s, you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, what are things that you have learned in your journey that you wish you could go back and tell your 20-year-old self? I would love to hear your comment below. I'd love for you to share with our community here at 4 million by 50. So drop that comment below. I don't know if I would have delayed starting a family. I started in my early 20s. I was 22. It's nice now being in my early 40s, and you know, my oldest is in his early 20s, and trust me, he gets a lot of advice from dad, and he gets a lot of advice on what I would have done in my 20s. And he's a good listener. I think he's going the right direction. I think he's doing everything he can to not be like his dad, at least on a financial. He wants to get an earlier start on the entrepreneurial business ownership lifestyle versus the W-2 blues. There's pros and cons again to starting your family early or waiting until your early 30s and starting a family. I have a friend who waited until his 30s to start a family, and he's in his mid 40s, and he's, you know, dealing with, you know, kids that are still in elementary school and some that are in junior high. I don't have to deal with that so much anymore, and it is very nice. That is all I have on this episode. So if you got any value out of this, please consider giving us a like below. And if you know anybody that you feel could use a little bit of advice on what to do in their 20s, and you found that there was a little bit of value here, go ahead and share that video with them. You know, send it off to them. And if you like this kind of content, we're always talking about money here on 4 million by 50. Give us a subscribe, give us a like. We'll see you on the next one.